You can? All right, go for it.
Yeah, I can read it on my screen.
All right, go for it. You read
The
it.
picture of the book, you mean? So it's Method Infinite, Freemasonry and the Mormon Restoration by Cheryl L. Bruno, Joe Steve Schwick III, and Nicholas S. Litursky.
Yeah, and I think that one of the things that I would definitely recommend to our readers is we're going to reference a couple of things that Cheryl, who guested on Mormonism Live, episode 96, some of the stories or some of the analogies that she referenced are I think really vital to our conversation today. But I definitely want to give credit where credit is due, but also as we listened to this episode, I was like, wow, there's a lot here that I had no idea about. And there's just no way to encapsulate that, nor am I a history buff. And Mason, while you love history, I don't think you would identify yourself as a history buff. And so I would really like, I would like for our readers to be able to, if you're interested, to go into this, because I think the insights that Cheryl was discussing are going to be gone into a lot more depth in the book that she co-authored in order to really grasp just how interesting and in a lot of cases problematic the appearance of Masonry in the Mormon temple is. So, all right, Mason, did you want to go ahead and get us started with your thoughts?
I can. What did you have in mind?
I thought you were leading today. Okay, this is called miscommunication in a marriage right here. So
is that what that is?
Yeah. All right. So one of the things that we were going to talk about today is the history. So Mason, how did Masonry end up being so connected to Mormonism?
Well, so if you go back to just the beginnings of Masonry, and you're going to, again, if you want to, all that kind of detail that's in that podcast there or in that book, if that's what you prefer. But you go back to a long time ago, the first writings of Masonry are like in the 1400s and really have to do with just a group of masons, like stone cutters, stone builders. And they were this group of people that were building cathedrals, were building lots of stuff, lots of these big buildings. And so they kind of formed their own group. And then as the building of cathedrals kind of decreased, then they let other people in, which is where it kind of became more of Freemasonry. I went to lots of different, Wikipedia and just things like that to have an idea of where it came from. So this is from actually the Encyclopedia Britannica, which I'll read to you. Freemasonry is not a Christian institution, though it has often been mistaken for such. Freemasonry contains many of the elements of a religion. Its teachings enjoin morality, charity, and obedience to the law of the land. In most traditions, the applicant for admission is required to be an adult male, and all applicants must also believe in the existence of a supreme being and in the immortality of the soul. In practice, some lodges have been charged with prejudice against Jews, Catholics, and non-whites. Generally, Freemasonry in Latin countries has attracted those who question religious dogma or who oppose the clergy, whereas in the Anglo-Saxon countries, the membership is drawn largely from among white Protestants, and so on. English Masons are actually forbidden to affiliate with any of the recreational organizations or quasi-Masonic societies on pain of suspension. That doesn't sound Mormon-like at all.
No, you don't think there's like some excommunication vibes going on?
Right. Nothing
there,
like that.
If you associate with somebody other than us, you're going to be in trouble.
Mostly it's not necessarily associating with anybody but us, but associating with other organizations that are kind of sort of trying to be like us. That kind of harkens back to even when, the only Christian religion was Catholicism. And then you started having this Protestant Reformation, and Catholics started excommunicating people. They excommunicated Martin Luther. The history of the Protestant Revolution is not that dissimilar to the history of Mormonism, where you get dissenters and you axe them, you get rid of them.